Hi everyone, welcome to week 3 of our math learning. We are going to be learning about capacity this week. So let's see if you can say that word first. Say capacity. Awesome. So now what we want to do is first define what is capacity. So capacity is how much a container can hold. Okay, so if we fill this container all the way to the top, then we're talking about how much this container can hold when we talk about its capacity. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is write down the definition. So after you do your computational fluency in your notebook, where you're writing down your numbers from 1 to 10 with no reversals, your addition and subtraction, and adding your money amounts, then I want you to move on to this. So in your notebook, you can write capacity at the top, and we're going to write the definition at the top of our notebook today. So we're going to write capacity is how much a container holds. Okay, so at the top of your notebook, you should have the definition. Capacity is how much a container holds. Once you've got that done, we're going to do some experimenting with capacity. And so the first thing that I want you to do is to go and find a container in your home, possibly that you could reuse from the recycle bin. And so I actually just used a soup can. If you use a soup can, I want you to make sure that you get help from an adult to take off the lid, just so that you don't cut yourself on the lid, and that you're being safe if you're using metal, okay? But what your job is you are going to turn your container into a dog. And this is my hungry hound. And what you're going to do is create a little dog where when you open this up, that will be inside of his mouth, and we are going to feed our hungry hounds. We're going to count how many scoops of food it takes to fill this hungry hound's belly, and then that will tell us the capacity of his belly and how much it holds. Okay, so your first job is you need to create a hungry hound that you can feed. Your next step, once you've created him, is to think about, what do you want to name your hungry hound? And so I'm going to name my hungry hound Jasper. So I'm going to write his name up here, Jasper. And then in my notebook, so in your notebook, after capacity, how much a container holds, I want you to write name and give your hungry hound a name. Then I want you to write estimate with a little line and capacity with a little underline. And so before I move on, I need to figure out, what am I going to use to feed Jasper with? So you can use rice that's not been cooked, or noodles that have not been cooked, or sand, or little pebbles, or something that's all of the same size. Okay, so I've chosen to use some noodles that have not been cooked. So they're about this big. And what I'm going to do is I have to estimate how many spoonfuls of these noodles will it take to fill Jasper's belly. Okay, so I am going to estimate that it will take, I'm going to say 15 scoops of noodles. So I'm going to write down my estimate, 15 scoops of noodles. Now it's really important that you tell me what it is that you're using to measure in your notebook, okay? So that I can see what you did use. After I do my estimate, now I can actually measure and feed hungry Jasper and see how many scoopfuls it takes to fill him up, okay? Here we go. Open up your mouth. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to make sure they're a full scoop full. 6, 7, 8. It's almost there. 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I think that's about full. 12. And when I close my lid, it should close and be almost touching the noodles and not sort of overflowing. And that means that I've got an accurate measurement when it's right to the top. So that took 12 scoops of food to fill my hungry hound. So now I'm going to write capacity was 12 scoops of noodles. So was my estimate pretty good? Yeah, it was pretty good. I was off by 3 scoops. So did it have a larger capacity or a smaller capacity than I thought? I learned that my hound, actually, I guessed 15, but he only ate 12 scoops of noodles. So I thought he had a larger capacity. Okay, and that's your task for today. So first, go find a container and find something that you can use to measure with, and then create your hungry hound. Once you've got that hungry hound made, you need to write capacity in the definition, the name of your hungry hound, your estimate, measure the capacity using a spoon, and then tell me, what did you learn? Did your container or your hungry hound have a larger capacity than you thought or a smaller capacity than you thought? Okay, good luck. Have some fun. I can't wait to see your hungry hounds.